Okay, so chemotherapy, Tylenol overuse, drug addictions, diabetes, alcoholism, etc. In our complex and fast-paced worlds, our livers, our bodies, especially our livers, experience a numerous number of challenges. Our liver is our behind-the-scenes hero that detoxifies and maintains our overall health. But the thing is, just like the other parts of us, it is not invincible. So the question I wanted to investigate today is how can we help our livers help us? How can we support and reinforce its various functions within our body? One method I've found, thanks to Dr. Andrew Weil, the author I mentioned in my first video, is an herb called milk thistle that has been used all the way since like the beginning of time in 40 AD. So in this video, I'm going to be delving into what milk thistle is, all of its various benefits, and if it may be of use for you. So as you can see here, this is what milk thistle looks like. If I'm honestly speaking, it looks kind of scary. I am a big fan of gardening, but if I saw this, I would not want to mess with it. But don't be fooled. Like I mentioned, it has potential to be very good for us. So physicians and healers have used milk thistle for ages. And from fatty liver disease to hepatitis, cirrhosis, and even environmental toxins, milk thistle has a long history of therapeutic use. In this photo on the left, you can see a beautiful, healthy looking liver, smooth, very nice, no blemishes, etc. And on the right, you can see one that has been diseased with cirrhosis. And you can see all of the lumps on it, the fat deposits, its fibrous nature, etc. Milk thistle has the potential to help and even reverse this. Now, researchers have honed in on silymarin, which comes from the seed extract of milk thistle. And silymarin is a potent mixture of what are called flavolignans, which are just think good molecules in this case, and they are what has that effect within our body. Specifically, they have honed in on silibin, which is just one component of silymarin, as almost its active component. And when you go to the herbal store like Walmart or whatever, and you look for milk thistle products, you'll often find silymarin as the main component, silibin as the main component, or even both. Because of the wide variety of benefits that milk thistle offers, it has become of high research interest within the Western world to make it a medication. And so I want to just talk about some of those benefits that I found. And below this video in the About section, you're going to find a Google Docs link that will have all of my research and sources that I used in making this video, just in case you want to fact check me, maybe I got something wrong, etc. And if you just want to look more into what is a really fascinating herb, in my opinion. So let's start with talking about insulin resistance. In numerous studies, milk thistle has lowered blood glucose levels, fasting insulin levels, and overall reduced insulin resistance within the body. It has been shown to lower the hemoglobin A1C score, which is a score that tells you if you're normal, pre-diabetic, or diabetic based on a molecule in our blood, by 1 whole percentage point, showing promising results for people with diabetes and livers affected by diabetes, as with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. In addition, it has also reduced total levels of cholesterol, LDL, which is the bad type of cholesterol, and triglycerides in our body. The next is what I call the triple anti-arsenal. These are 3 properties that are crucial to liver function: antioxidant properties, anti-inflammatory properties, and anti-fibrotic properties, all of which are displayed by milk thistle, silymarin, and silibin. So let's start with antioxidant. If you don't know what free radicals are, think of free radicals as compounds that enter our body and break down our cells or important parts of our cells. They damage them and turn them into free radicals that go on to do more of the same thing. So think of them as having an exponential effect. And it's kind of a scary thought, which is why I think antioxidant is kind of like a buzzword that we've heard more about in the past few years. Well, silymarin inhibits free radicals generated by toxic substances like alcohol or Tylenol, etc. Silymarin is not only a free radical scavenger, which means that it reacts with free radicals and makes them inert or not have a function within our body, but it also increases the intracellular content of other scavengers like glutathione, for example, which is a critical antioxidant that is depleted when we drink liver. It also increases glutathione peroxidase and superoxide dismutase, which are critical enzymes you might have heard of if you're interested in this kind of stuff, that further contribute to antioxidant roles within our body, especially our livers. The next is the anti-inflammatory role. Milk thistle's anti-inflammatory properties come from its ability to regulate what are called cytokines and also inhibit certain genes from being expressed within our DNA, like COX-2. It inhibits transduction cascades, which are basically one molecule is released, leading to another molecule, leading to like another thing, etc. It's almost like a series of cause and effect chain reactions that ultimately lead to an outcome. And in this case, it inhibits the outcome of pro-inflammatory genes from being expressed within our DNA. Silibin specifically reduces the liver and plasma content of inflammatory cytokines while also increasing the content of anti-inflammatory cytokines, making it a very useful and versatile chemical. And the last but not least is the antifibrotic roles displayed by milk thistle. So as I showed earlier, this liver damaged by cirrhosis, you can kind of see, if we just take a look at it, it's not smooth. You can see the way the light bounces off of it. You can see all these ridges and bumps, etc., created from fatty deposits and collagen fiber deposits. So in liver disease, what happens is liver cells are converted into what are called myofibroblasts that then deposit collagen fibers onto our livers. This not only does a great deal of damage to the structure and function of the liver, but also it just creates a great deal of hepatocyte or liver cell death. So silibin has been shown to decrease the DNA processes that lead to this, and is also associated with a reduction in TGF-beta, or transforming growth factor beta, that is a key regulator in this. And the fifth role I have here, I wrote anti-cancer effects. So silibin inhibits cell growth, DNA synthesis, and cell viability in prostate, breast, and ovarian cancer cell lines, especially drug-resistant ovarian and breast cancer lines. It also contributes to the rejuvenation of our liver. What exactly does rejuvenation mean? I just chose this word because when I go through these things, the different properties here, I thought like, okay, it's like making our livers younger, etc. But first, it contributes to liver cell regeneration. It has been suggested that silymarin accelerates liver cell regeneration and supports tissue repair processes, specifically because silymarin has an influence on ribosomal RNA synthesis and structural protein synthesis. If you don't know, ribosomes are a part of our cell that create the proteins within our body. So by reinforcing ribosomes, you reinforce the proteins that reinforce our cells, leading to faster tissue repair and liver cell reinforcement. It has also enhanced the synthesis and activity of enzymes that are responsible for phase 1 and phase 2 detoxification pathways in our livers. Don't worry about the phase 1 and phase 2 part. Just know that our liver, again, detoxifies the things that enter our body, and silymarin boosts that process. It also fortifies our liver cell membranes by binding closely to membrane molecules. Now in the body, it's almost like attracts like. So water and oil don't mix because one is hydrophilic, water, and one is hydrophobic, oil. Well, in this case, the milk thistle extract, right? Silymarin or silibin, these are hydrophobic compounds. And because our liver cell membranes are also hydrophobic, they bind very closely to each other. And it strengthens it in a way that prevents liver enzymes from leaking out into our bloodstream. If you've ever seen, or like if you've ever seen Grey's Anatomy or House or anything, whenever someone has liver damage, they always say, oh, the liver cell enzymes are like increased. That's because when liver cells are damaged, they leak these enzymes into our bloodstream. Okay, so I just covered a wide variety of benefits. And so because of this, again, since 40 AD, milk thistle has been used to treat so many different complications in our liver. So I'm going to speed run everything that I just mentioned. It can help with fatty liver disease, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, viral hepatitis, cirrhosis, environmental toxins, poisonous mushrooms, chemotherapy damage, and even further that I didn't mention in this, milk secretion, menstrual cramp relief, depression, acne, and overall liver, spleen, and kidney support. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, milk thistle seems way too good to be true. You know, things aren't that easy in life, and there's got to be some kind of drawback. And unfortunately, there is. It's important to acknowledge the limitations in the research. In this video, I didn't want to present only one side of this story and just say milk thistle is great, go use it, because things aren't that black and white in this case. The thing about herbal products is that their clinical trials are often they're not rigorous. They don't have that rigor that allows us to say, okay, milk thistle clearly has that therapeutic value and we can use it. More definitive data are needed in its use for various liver diseases. Oftentimes, clinical trials on milk thistle and other herbal products have been hindered by lack of rigorous trials, from low sample sizes to poorly defined patient populations. There just aren't enough pharmacokinetic analyses of milk thistle. So for example, this will let us know how much is needed for it to work, right? Because if we give someone just barely any, it's not going to do anything. But if you give them a certain amount, it'll do something. What those thresholds are, we don't know, and we need to know more about it. There's also strong variability in products because it is not FDA regulated. Herbal products tend to, because they're unregulated, they need to be closely monitored so you know exactly what is in it and what you're putting into your body. And then also, silymarin is a combination of multiple flavolignans, like I mentioned earlier, not just silibin. So more studies are needed to understand what exactly all those individual functions are, so that we know exactly what we're putting in our body. All this goes to show what I think is one of the most important things to remember when someone wants to take control of their health journey: responsibility. These are things our bodies do not naturally synthesize, and we want to be as aware of what exactly we're putting in our body when we can. So, speak with your healthcare providers and team. If you think milk thistle could be a benefit to you for any of the reasons I mentioned or more, then speak to your healthcare team. Let everyone know your intentions. Make sure they communicate clearly among each other in case milk thistle interacts with certain other drugs you're taking, etc. And also speak with the licensed herbalist so that you can get all the feedback you can in making an informed decision. Milk thistle, I will say, just because there isn't enough research on milk thistle doesn't make it ineffective. Now, I say that with a great deal of caution because that could be used in a way that harms the body. But just make a very informed decision in your case. If you think it's right for you, speak with your healthcare team and go slow. Milk thistle has been shown to be safe for long-term use up to 41 months. And there haven't been many adverse side effects unless it has been taken at a very high therapeutic dosage, 10 grams or more. Most supplements will have it at 5 grams or lower, and at And the only real side effects that we mentioned were like gastrointestinal upset and diarrhea. Overall, with all of that being said, I think milk thistle is an amazing herb and has many promising effects for the liver. I really hope that research continues to be done on this, because if it really does do what it is purported to do, if it does what all the accounts throughout history have said it does, then it would be of tremendous use to thousands of people. Few medications on the market rival its all-encompassing functions in liver support. So I'm really glad I found out about this from Dr. Andrew Weil in his book, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Hopefully it'll maybe help at least one person who's watching this. So if you found this interesting, if you have any stories about milk thistle, both personal or like your friends or loved ones have used it before, etc., please leave a comment and let me know. If you like the video, please drop a thumbs up on it. Thanks for watching, and more videos to come.